The Fourth World War has begun, by Subcomandante Marcos. Post-text. A postscript which speaks of dreams couched in love. The sea rests at my side. For a long time it has shared my anxieties, my uncertainties, and many of my dreams. But now it sleeps with me in the hot night of the forest. I watch its rippling movements in its sleep, and I am struck with wonder again at finding it unchanged, warm, fresh, and at my side. The stifling heat of the night draws me from my bed and guides my hand and my pen to summon up old Antonio, today, as he was many years ago. I asked old Antonio to go with me on an exploration up the river. We took only a bit of stew to eat. For hours we followed the winding riverbed, and in the end hunger and the heat began to get to us. We spent the afternoon following a herd of boars. It was almost night when we eventually caught up with them. Suddenly a huge wild boar detached itself from the group and attacked us. Summoning up all my military know-how, I threw away my gun and climbed the nearest tree. Old Antonio was unarmed, but instead of running away, he placed himself behind a thicket of canes. The giant boar ran straight at him, with its full force, and found itself caught up in the undergrowth. Before it could disentangle itself, old Antonio lifted his big old stick, and with one blow provided our evening meal. The next morning, when I had finished cleaning my modern automatic rifle, a 5.56mm M16 with a range of 460 meters, a telescopic sight, and a drum magazine holding 90 bullets, I settled down to write my field diary. Omitting most of what had happened, I noted only: met wild boar, A killed one, height 350 meters, did not rain. While we were waiting for the meat to grill, I told Antonio that my portion would serve for the festivities that were being prepared back at base. Festivities? He asked, poking the fire. Yes, I said. Whatever the month, there's always something to celebrate. And I embarked on what I thought was a brilliant dissertation on the Zapatistas' historical calendar and celebrations. Old Antonio listened to me in silence. Then, imagining that he was not finding it interesting, I settled down to sleep. While I was still half awake, I saw old Antonio take my notebook and write something in it. The next day, after breakfast, we shared out the meat and each went our separate ways. When I reached camp, I reported back and showed the notes I had made in my notebook. "That's not your writing," someone said, pointing to the page in question. There, beneath what I had written, old Antonio had written in large letters: "If you cannot have both reason and strength, always choose reason, and leave strength to the enemy. In many battles, it is force that makes it possible to win a victory. But the struggle as a whole can only be won by reason. The strong man will never be able to draw reason from his strength, whereas we can always draw strength from our reason." And down below, in the smaller letters, he had written, "Happy festivities!" Obviously, I was no longer hungry, and, as usual, the Zapatista festivities were indeed happy. Subcomandante Marcos.